Interesting study out of the International Investigative Dermatology 2013 meeting. Doesn't sound like it would be the most exciting meeting, I understand, but there was some interesting news out of it, which is that we all know about the risks of being exposed to ultraviolet rays. Earlier on the show, Dr. Andrew Gonzalez talked about the UV component of how nail polish, I don't even know what it's called, nail polish is dried. And we all know about the risks of sun exposure, but this new study says that the benefits of sun exposure might actually outweigh the risks. In other words, sun exposure may help to reduce blood pressure, and it might actually do more in terms of improving health by reducing blood pressure than the additional risk of getting skin cancer from the exposure to the UV rays. And they did a study here with about 24 participants, okay? And they sat under sun lamps for 2 20-minute sessions with their blood pressure monitored as they waited. And the participants that were exposed to UV rays and heat from the lamps in one session, but then they were only exposed to heat and no UV rays in the other session, and their blood pressure fell when they were under the UV rays and not when they were only under the heat.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, aren't there ways that don't involve absorbing UV rays that can also lower blood pressure, like diet modification or walking around,
right,
where you get all of the benefit of blood pressure lowering without having to take the additional skin cancer risk?
It's interesting now that you mention this, because I normally have pretty low blood pressure. And, well, I wouldn't say strangely low, but on the lower end of healthy/normal. And after a day of like sitting out in the sun, not necessarily running around and doing stuff, I mean, I feel like I have lower blood pressure, like it's too low, like I've been drained and I'm just kind of sluggish and.
But Natan, that's not necessarily because of the blood pressure reducing effect, a broader health effect, right? I mean, I think just the sun does that to people for other reasons.
Yeah, it can tire you out, no doubt. I was just going to say that, we've had evidence coming out for decades that, frequent sun exposure that doesn't cause sunburn is related to skin carcinomas, and that sunburns are related to melanoma. And there's hundreds of studies about this. And 24 participants where you're finding some effect, some positive effect of sun exposure shouldn't be used now to suddenly say, yeah, forget about everything we said about skin cancer. Just do whatever you want.
Yes, certainly
it's completely
not,
insane, especially on the basis of just 24 people.
Certainly not a broad-based study, Lewis.
It could be situational. I mean, if there's nothing wrong with your blood pressure, you don't need to go out and spend time in the sun.
Well, maybe you do for vitamin D.
Well,
interesting
maybe.
Nonetheless that it was presented at this dermatology meeting.
Yeah.